Hi guys, welcome to Hit Cricket, your source for cricket analysis, commentary, and fun. I'm your host Rahul, and today I'm joined by cricket fan Yanesh. And today we're going to be talking about two teams' retentions, which is the Kolkata Knight Riders, the defending champions from last year, as well as Gujarat Titans, the defending champions from 3 years ago. Now, we'll start off with the Kolkata Knight Riders first, and their first retention is the explosive middle order batter who's broken his way into the Indian side over the past 2 years and has just been performing consistently in the later phase of the innings, Rinku Singh for 13 crores. What do you think about this retention? I think it's a no-brainer. Rinku Singh's been such a solid player for the franchise as well as for India, bailing them out of tough situations and also providing the finishing touch on a bunch of occasions. And who can forget that innings against the Gujarat Titans when he smacked Yash Dayal for 5 sixes in that last over. I mean, that was just something phenomenal, something we might never see repeated again in the IPL. So it was a no-brainer to me that Rinku Singh is a retention for 13 crores. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I also think Riku Singh for 13 crores is a very good move. I'm surprised at how KKR did their auctions retention strategy because usually it goes from 18 or higher for the first retention. But I'm surprised how they spread out that 18 instead of giving the first player 18 crores, they spread that money out equally to all other players. And Riku Singh got 13 crores. I mean, see, considering how he's performing across the formats. So that itself can earn him a spot. Like I think before he was retained, he was like around base price or something. And everyone wanted him to go up. Now that he is 13 crores, I think it is a good retention. But also with 13 crores on his head, he might be having a little more pressure that he has to play through. Let's see how he deals with that.
Yeah, it's some crazy price spike, right? I think he was like base price 20 or 50 lakhs and suddenly 13 crores, like almost 30 times increase in price. But I feel the quality player, man. Like he can even in the test setup or in the first class setup, he bats at like number four for his team, I'm pretty sure. So he's not only like a pure hitter at the end or a finisher, he can also build you innings when required. Like I'm pretty sure he played like a really good knock at Chepauk one game when they were chasing around 140. He stabilized the innings. So he's not only like a finishing option that you can depend on to get 60 in the last 4 overs. He can also bail you out of a situation when you're 20 for two or 30 for two. So that versatility just makes him so good. And he's such a good fielder as well. He's taken some blinders in the field. So, the whole package makes Rinku Singh like such a valuable asset to own. So yeah, no brainer for me. And the next retention is the Indian mystery spinner, Varun Chakravarti. What can be said about the man from going to an architect to coming to fulfill his dream, play cricket, and just play not so great for Punjab. I'm pretty sure he only turned up one game that one year and then got smacked and then couldn't get a chance. But then has found a home at KKR and has been one of their lead spinners along with Sunil Narayan. And now has broken his way into the Indian squad and took a five for against South Africa. I mean, he's one of those highly sought after spinners in the game today just because of the way he spins the ball in both directions and batters just can't pick him the way he's bowling and he's bowling like a dream right
Especially
now.
Dhoni.
Yeah, I mean the way he cleaned up Tala like in that season against CSK twice, was fascinating and it's just so hard to pick his deliveries and especially on a ground like Kolkata where it does aid spin on some occasions. He's such a valuable asset to own and even when it's a belter out there, he's someone who will still be hard to get away just because of the pace he bowls at and the consistent line and length he delivers. So for 12 crores, it's an absolute steal in my opinion, especially considering he's at the peak of his career right now.
Yeah, exactly. I also think 12 crores is worth it considering how in previous videos we have talked about how there's lack of spinners in Indian subcontinent. So like we can talk a few names like Yuzi, Ashwin, and who else? You'll need more spinners, right? So in that category, Varun Chak is going to come up. But one problem I see here is that uh, depending on the surfaces, because sometimes it's not always going to be a gripping surface and the ball turns easily. So depending on surfaces, I think they're going to use him. I mean, see, we've seen how deadly their spin attack can be with the likes of Sunil Narayan, and they had another young guy named Surya Sharma. Again, he's released.
Yeah.
But with this duo, Warren Shepherd and Sunil, it is a good combination. But it just all depends on the surface that they play in.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, Varun Chakravarti, we have seen him get hit for 40, 50 runs on pitches that don't absolutely suit him. But man, I think he's just a change bowler right now. I mean, he's just in the peak of his powers. And like he had that one bad season, I think it was last to last year, where it wasn't landing right for him. But I mean, last season, the way he played for KKR, one of the main keys in the cog when they won the tournament, and how he's performing for India in Bangladesh and South Africa. I mean, that five for in South Africa, it wasn't uh, it wasn't that easy a pitch for spinners to bowl on. It was more of a pace-friendly wicket, I'm pretty sure. But the way he was able to make people like Miller and Klaasen just stutter on that wicket was fascinating. So I think he's in the peak of his powers, and at the moment, I feel in his best form, he can rattle any opposition within 2, 3 overs, and he showed that as he's been showing that consistently.
Yeah, I agree with that. And as I was talking about his another partner in his spin attack, Sunil Narayan, who also has been retained for 12 crores. I think that too is a great pick. But 12 crores was is worth it when he's going to open the batting. Like we've seen when Gautam Gambhir was a mentor, Sunil Narayan was doing very great with the batting. He gave you those explosive starts. And I'm not sure since Gautam Gambhir is gone from that mentor role and he's now Indian coach. I'm not sure if Sunil Narayan is going to have the same confidence again because we've seen before Gautam Gambhir, even when they were putting Sunil Narayan to open few occasions, he was not performing consistently. But as soon as Gautam Gambhir came in to mentor, he again went back to his old I think when Gautam Gambhir was captain of KKR, he went
Yeah.
back to those type of shots. And I'm not sure since Gautam Gambhir is gone again, let's see how he's going to perform. But that's what I'm talking about batting. Bowling, you know how he's always going to take wickets. He's a wicket taker. I don't think you can question him with this bowling.
I mean, chucking or not chucking is a different issue. We can talk about that. I mean, like a lot of debate on that. But yeah, like you mentioned, even in the Major League Cricket, he got full chances to open the batting and couldn't really contribute much when the pitches were not as conducive to batting. So, I mean, you can't depend on him for consistent runs. Like last season was just an out of this world season, actually, probably one of the best MVP seasons ever. Scoring that many runs and also taking that many wickets that he did at such a solid economy rate is something I don't think anyone can repeat again. But yeah, as far as you said, like 12 crores, my only concern is the age factor. I mean, how long can he keep doing this? I guess since he's a spinner, he does have a longer lifespan, but in terms of cricketing lifespan, but the issue is I don't know if at that age, 12 crores is worth it for him. I mean, I guess since they were able to get to a consensus to split everyone up like equally, 12 crores makes sense. But I would have been if he was like something like 18 crores for Sunil Narayan. But I guess 12 is a justifiable price, especially considering his bowling. He's still one of the best T20 spinners in the world. So hard to pick him, and we've seen him get legends of the game like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma out on a consistent basis, and he's just so hard to pick his variations. And if he gives you anything with the bat, it's just a bonus because he doesn't waste balls either. So you do have your quality batters coming later down. So Narayan is just like if he get hits, he benefits. If he doesn't hit, he doesn't lose you a game. So
Exactly.
in that
That
fashion,
is it.
it's a good experiment to take. And then the next retention is his West Indian partner, Andre Russell, also retained for 12 crores. I mean, what to say about Dre Russ? Such an explosive cricketer in general. I mean, he can win you a game single-handedly with the bat later down the order. Like we've seen, the one game that stands in my eyes is that game against RCB in 2019, where they needed like 50 off the last 3 overs, and he just absolutely pummeled it everywhere. And I remember one game against SRH as well, where it was like 60 off 4 overs or something, and then he won it with like comfortable margin. So I mean, he's just known to perform in the big games with both bat and ball. And, he's such an explosive cricketer. But my only thing with him is the injury concern. Like, he always has that injury label to him, and he can. You're scared anytime he makes a dive on the field or something like that. And also, he's also aging like Sunil Narayan is, and we don't know how long he can keep up his prowess with the bat and the ball because he does bowl at a good amount of pace right now, mind you. And he bowls at the death overs, but we don't know how long he can keep that up. So 12 crores, I don't know if they should have gone for it. Maybe they could have RTM'd him for cheaper, but I mean, just the brand value, the name Andre Russell would have fetched more than 12, I
Yeah,
think. So
exactly.
good retention there.
There were some rumors that KKR were going to release on Russell, but again, KKR with the franchise that they keep getting their old players back, Shah Khan. But yeah, I mean, 12 crores for me though, it's not a big deal considering how he has performed for the franchise, and franchise also trusting the player for a long time. So I don't mind 12 crores at all. I think it was a great retention. And you covered all the other points about age and other stuff. So I think yeah, 12 crores for me is not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, he is a legend of the game. It's just I'm a bit concerned about his fitness status, as everyone must be, and his consistency because it's almost like he performs once every three IPLs, almost like because two other IPLs he either has some fitness issues going on, so he can't bowl, he plays as a pure batter, or even with the bat, he doesn't bring that consistency that you want from your finisher. But I feel that having Rinku Singh along with Andre Russell gives him more of that surety that he's not the only one that has to finish the innings for the team, and he's not the only Mr. Dependable towards the back end. I feel like having a partner like Rinku Singh would definitely help him feel more comfortable as well.
Not
So
only
yeah.
Riku Singh, but there's another upcoming star in that team that they have retained, Ramandeep Singh, who
Oh
also can
yeah.
smash some sixes. And I mean, I'm assuming we're going to be talking about him next, so I'll just jump forward. They retained Ramandeep Singh for 4 crores. So that too because he's uncapped player. What a great deal that they have got in
True.
Ramandeep Singh. He can join the forces of Andre Russell and Riku Singh in that six-hitting machine that they have. Like he can just smack some great balls. And he's a great fielder too. We have seen a few
But yeah.
amazing catches from him,
Yeah.
either in
Insane.
IPL or in when he was playing for India also.
Hmm.
So overall, I think 4 crores they got a great deal in Ramandeep Singh.
Yeah,
What do you think about that?
absolute steal. I mean, the way he finished off innings for them last year was phenomenal. Like those 7 ball 20s might go unnoticed, but those are the kind of innings that make an impact in T20 cricket and win you games. Especially, I remember that one game against RCB where KKR won by 1 run. Ramandeep played that little 7 ball 20 at the end and might go unnoticed because of all the other fireworks at the beginning, how Shreyas Iyer played and Phil Salt played. But that kind of innings is what propels you to that extra 10 runs, which made them win that game eventually. So, and there's so many other notable performances he did. And he is also, like you said, a phenomenal fielder. I mean, those catches he took, I think he had the catch of the season last year, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
catches when you matches, and he proved it properly.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he has so much power and like the sixes he hits are big as well. And even in the emerging cup, in the Asia emerging cup, he hit that amazing innings against Afghanistan, I'm pretty sure, like 60 out of 25 balls, which is simply fascinating to watch. And don't forget he can also give you overs with the ball as well. We saw him pick up a few wickets for Mumbai Indians when he was there. He wasn't really given the opportunity to bowl for KKR, but he can give you a couple of overs if it's his day. So I mean, he gives you that 3D package, and I feel it's an absolute steal for 4 crores.
Yeah, and
What do
him
you think?
joining these forces with Rinku Singh and
Oh
Andre
yeah,
Russell, that's gonna be a thing to watch out. It's
that's
gonna
gonna
be
be
scary, some
that's a
scary
scary
hitting.
finishing four. I mean, like no total is safe in the last 5 overs with
And
those
consider
three.
and just imagine Sunil Narayan just have a good opening game that can easily propel them to good score.
I mean, the thing is with this retention, they have quality 3-4 batters and they have like quality 3-4 bowlers in them. Like they have like
Yeah,
12
I
overs in
think
these.
they have one more retention that we
Yeah,
need to talk about, Mr. Harshit Rana, for just 4 crores. Okay,
viral
see,
fever, viral fever.
yeah, exactly. I think okay, I'm not like trying to create rumors, but I feel like Gautam Gambhir had a role to play in him getting going uncapped. What do you think about that?
I mean, I can't assume for anything, but like I Gautam Gambhir, on the outside he seems like a very fair guy. Like he's someone who follows the rules and adheres to them really strictly, but it did seem a bit sus.
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean, like he
When you play other youngsters like Nitish Kumar Reddy, and I mean I'm perfectly fine with them playing youngsters. I want to see youngsters growing,
yeah.
but him just not playing right before the retention deadline and playing the game after, it just seemed a little bit sus.
I mean, yeah, it does. like just the timing of everything just made it seem really like
Suspicious.
really like he did it on purpose. But I'm not gonna doubt Gambhir here. I mean, he's proven to be a very fair guy, so I don't know whether we should jump that
But again,
gun.
let's talk about his retention though. Him getting
Yeah.
retained for 4 crores, I think that's an absolute steal. How we seen him actually bowl those overs last year, like he had that arrogance in him. He wanted to fight. I remember that first match against SRS that he gave flying
I
kiss to Mayank Agarwal.
I know you're annoyed with that.
Me personally, as a search fan, I was annoyed with it, but he kept up to his arrogance. Like he's like, okay, I'm gonna throw some banner. I'm gonna keep up the fight. Like he took wickets later on. He took that amazing wicket of Klaassen, I think, and who was
Oh yeah,
about
yeah.
to win the match. That game, I still remember that. But not only that match, but he did in many occasions. And we've seen now how he's playing for India also, and he might be getting a chance to play in that Border Trophy test series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, like you said, an absolute steal at 4 crores. He's been fascinating for KKR, and he can bowl at different phases of the game. I mean, like you said, that last over against SRH when Klaassen and Shahbaz Ahmed were going hammer and tongs to pull the game back after getting hit for six in the first ball is something that takes a lot of courage and being able to absorb the pressure. And I feel that he has that. I mean, the way he was able to defend totals towards the end and bowl at the death was fascinating. And as far as aggression is concerned, I'm fine if you're aggressive, but you can back it up with your performances and that you have the talent to show for that aggression. And I'll be honest, at that first game, I thought he was just like doing too much, showing too much aggression. There's nothing about him, but he proved me wrong and showed that he did actually have skill. And he picked some high profile wickets. I mean, Klaassen, Virat Kohli, it's no joke taking all those guys' wickets. So, I mean, although like he is like relatively inexperienced, I feel for 4 crores is an absolute steal considering how well he played for KKR last year. And he was such a pivotal part of their championship winning team. So, yeah, no brainer. I think, especially since he's uncapped, 4 crores is a steal for Harshit Rana.
Yeah, I have no other things.
Yeah, so I think that's all the retained players for KKR. Now let's move on to the Gujarat Titans, led by Hardik Pandya in their first season ever 3 years ago, and then moved on to the young gun Shubman Gill, who's surprisingly not the first choice retained player for them this year, but instead it's arguably, in my opinion, one of the best all-rounder in cricket at the moment, Rashid Khan. I mean, what a player he is. Just the way he's been evolving his game continuously. Like as a bowler, he exploded out onto the scenes and no one could pick him. That's a different story. But to come back from a back injury and re-evolve himself into being that number one bowler and also improve his batting leaps and bounds. I mean, how much has his batting improved over the past few years? The knocks he played at the MLC, even for Gujarat Titans. I remember that one game against Mumbai Indians where he hit like a 30 ball at 80 runs or something. And like he just evolved his batting, and I love the shots he plays, like the little sweeps, scoops. He's just been evolving himself as a cricketer every year, and he, I'd pay over 25 crores to even get Rashid Khan on my team. So the fact they were able to settle to this deal with him, I'd say it's a steal. The best all-rounder in T20 cricket at the moment.
Exactly. I cannot argue him being the best all-rounder in T20 currently, but what do you call it? There were some rumors that he might be looking for those 22, 23 crore retention, like how Klassen got those 22, 23 retention crore. But I'm surprised how GT managed to just calm him down and give him 18 crores and settle him for first round retention. Uh, see, considering now, I think GT has done a great job in retaining him first retention because we've seen how SRH was in previous mega auction was not able to do the same and happened to release Rashid Khan and move on to GT. But again, I'm bringing that back because we've seen how player evolves, and when he was in SRH, he was asking for top retention. That was, I think, that too was around 17, 18 crores, if I remember
Yeah,
properly.
I think so.
But back then, I feel like he didn't have that batting in him. but he evolved in 4 years, and that's why GT were able to give him that 18 crores retention pick.
I mean, yeah, even if you need 35 of the last two overs and Rashid Khan's out there, you can't say the game is over. Like, he's evolved as a proper finishing option for a team as well. And that's just scary in general because he's probably the best leg spinner out there in the world right now. And the fact he can finish you games on par with, like, not on par, but like he can finish you games from situations where you think you've won the game is just mind-boggling to me. And no, and not even talking about his fielding. What an amazing fielder he is. Like, we've seen him take some stunning catches, and he's such an athletic player as well. So, and he has age on his side. Surprisingly, he has age on his side. So he can play for a long time as well.
Yeah,
I,
that's
I
it.
mean, but yeah, absolute steal. And then
Yes.
yeah, the next player is the captain of the Gujarat Titans, the Prince of Indian cricket, touted to be the next Virat Kohli, the actual next Virat Kohli, Shubman Gill for 16.5 crores. I mean, that one season he had in 2022 was simply mind-boggling. Scored almost 900 runs, four centuries. I mean, what else to say about him? That was just a magnificent season, and we've seen him play some outstanding innings for India in the ODI format. In T20 cricket, he's yet to like completely seal a spot for India, but we've seen him play some outstanding innings for Gujarat Titans, and I feel that the move from KKR to GT was when he became the total evolved package as a T20 player as well. And although his captaincy wasn't too inspiring last year, I feel that the decision to groom him as captain and to try and groom him as a leader is outstanding because he's the future of this franchise, and it's a no-brainer to retain him. He's such a quality player.
Yeah, exactly. Rightly said, Rahul. 16.5 crores for Shubman Gill is not a big price considering how he has played for you 2 years ago. That was amazing. He was about to break Virat Kohli's record to, it was just a little bit short, but again, that was a great season that he had. But again,
Yeah.
he couldn't repeat the same type of
Yeah.
season again last year. But again, you cannot just throw out a player just because of one season. Again, he had captaincy pressure too last year. Like the previous year,
Yeah.
Hardik Pandya was leading them. Last year, Shubman Gill, it was his first year as a captain. He had a lot of pressure on him. I feel like this time around, he'll have known what to do as a captain, so he'll become a bit relaxed and have great season. That's what I feel like. And 16.5 crores for an Indian top order batter is not a big money.
Yeah, I mean, I did feel he was taking a bit of captaincy pressure last year, and it did affect his batting. But yeah, he's a top quality player, and we've seen him play some stunning innings. It's just a matter of time before he takes that captaincy into stride and just focuses on his purely on his batting when he's batting, and then takes the captaincy hat on when he enters the field. But I think with the age on his side, he has a lot of time to learn it, and he's a quality retention for the next even 10 plus years. So yeah, no brainer about that. Next is his opening partner from last year, who has only became the opening partner like very late in the season, batted at number three for most part of the season. But Sai Sudarshan, I mean, what a find for Gujarat Titans. Bought him at such a low price in the auction and like reaped the rewards, gave him an opportunity to bat at number three first, and then promoted him to open the batting with Shubman Gill. And I still remember that century against CSK where both Gill and Sudarshan had that 200 run opening partnership or almost 200 runs, both hitting centuries along the way. And I feel that Sai Sudarshan throughout his time in the IPL has just more and more evolved himself into that T20 mode. At first, he seemed like a guy who can just purely stabilize an innings, but I feel that that knock against CSK in the finals as well in the 2022 finals was simply outstanding. Batted at almost a strike rate of 200 and almost scored a century in that game as well. And the century last year was also at a strike rate close to 200 as well. So I feel he's evolved himself as a T20 batsman to bat at that big strike rate and also build big innings as well. When previously he might have just been building innings but not at the strike rate desired, he's brought that striking aspect into his game as well over the past few games. What do you think about that retention for 11 crores? I think
Right.
it's a steal.
Yeah, rightly said, Rahul. You have took every point out, like how I thought he was a test player too in the beginning, like us, like he was about to just he's just there to stabilize the innings. But later on, we've seen how he has evolved to, especially in the finals. That's when I actually was like shocked how he could like carry the innings throughout when every wicket was falling on the other side. He was there. He could, and it's not like he was just playing slow. He was playing pretty quick too in that finals against CSK. They were just unlucky to just not cross the line. But again, what I find for GT, and considering he was for base price earlier on, now just getting him for 8.5 crores, I think it's a great deal for GT.
Oh, sorry, is this 8.5 or 11? Is it?
Uh,
I thought it was 11, but I might be wrong. If it's 8.5, it's like an absolute steal. I mean, mind-boggling.
yeah, yeah, it is 8.5 crores.
Oh, sorry, I think I mentioned 11 before. Correct myself. 8.5 is an absolute steal. I mean, for
Exactly.
such a quality player, damn.
Yeah, but that's about it. You covered all the topics I wanted to talk about besides version. So
Yeah, I mean, our friend Sean, he was like, he had him on his fantasy team, and he was pretty disappointed with the early results, like not getting too much runs at that strike rate that he desired. But then just as the season went on, he just started exploding with the strike rate, and then he was good for fantasy managers as well. So I mean, that way also he was fascinating. But the next player on the list, we have two uncapped players. First one is the Iceman, Rahul Tewatia. Like, I mean, what a find he was for GT. He came off of that game against Sheldon Cottrell and
Punjab.
Punjab Kings
Oh
in
my, I
Sharjah.
still can remember that.
Yeah, I mean that was unbelievable. That's where he really made a name for himself. To from
Exactly.
going from like having 8 of 20 odd balls to people saying to him to retire out to hitting five sixes and over against Sheldon Cottrell to win that game was like out of this world. I mean that is
Since
on.
then on, he's been known as a finisher, the Iceman.
Yeah, I mean, he's been outstanding. The number of games he's won for Gujarat Titans from that finishing position has been outstanding. He's come in at 6 and 7 in tough situations when there's like 40 runs off 3 overs required, 70 runs off 6 overs required, and he's just been so cool and finished so many games off for them. Like I can at least remember 5 or 6 games that he's finished off over the past 2 3 seasons. Actually, more. It's been outstanding for them, and the fact that they've not even tapped into the bowling potential that he was touted to be more of a bowling all-rounder, I'm pretty sure. But then the fact that they've been able to use him as a pure batter and he's still given so much reward for GT is fascinating. And if he can work on his bowling as well and they can get more out of the bowling side of him, I mean, 4 crores is just absolute steal for him because I'm pretty sure GT bought him for 9 crores at the auction. So I'm surprised he even agreed to stay for 4 crores at GT. Maybe he just loves the environment with Ashish Nehra at the helm.
Yeah, Rahul, you correctly said 4 crores is an absolute steal for a player like Rahul Tewatia. I'm surprised he still hasn't debuted for India,
Oh
considering
yeah,
how he was
for
playing
sure.
for
Yeah.
IPL. But again, him being in IPL, 4 crores, he can win you games. That's why I can say he can win you games from losing position.
Mm.
He can, so considering 4 crores for him, I think it's an absolute steal.
I mean, yeah, we've seen that so many times where he just bailed out his team in so many losing positions. That one game I remember, I think it was against Punjab Kings, right, where they needed 2 sixes off 2 balls and he hit both at the ground to win the game again with the GT. That's where Shubman Gill almost scored a century and then got out. But
Yeah,
then,
I'm not getting that
okay, I
moment.
think I think it was against Punjab Kings that one season. But that was just an example of the numerous amount of games he's won for them. So no brainer retention at 4 crores. And then finally, another uncapped player, the guy who goes for 9 crores by default every auction, and he's been a Punjab Kings mainstay but didn't work there. Moved to the Gujarat Titans, Shah Rukh Khan. I mean,
Not
he's
the
just been an
Shahrukh Khan
experiment.
hero, but the player.
Yeah, the player, not DDLJ Shah Rukh Khan. But I mean, he's just been a project as far as it's concerned. Like he's been an experiment on every team he's gone to. Like can he give the reward? Can he give the reward? Similar to an Indian version of a Glenn Maxwell. Can he give the reward that he's given in the TNPL first team? Can he be the person that we expect him to be? But unfortunately, in the IPL, it hasn't translated yet. But last year in the TNPL, he batted phenomenally and he can bowl you off spin as well and pick wickets there as well. He was phenomenal with his bowling as well. So considering he's a proper all-rounder now who can be used at number four with the bat, we saw him get that half century against RCB last year. He can finish an innings and he can also give you some overs with the ball as well. I think 4 crores is us. It's a justifiable price for Shah Rukh Khan because he definitely go more in the auction with just the hype around him.
Exactly. 4 crores. for me though, I think they should have kept the RTM spot for someone else because I feel like players like there's another player called Sai Kishore that they have released.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah, yeah.
great spinner, but I think they should have taken him over Shah Rukh Khan. But again, Shah Rukh Khan, I think he's a great finisher. We've seen like in TNPL how he can finish the games and bat very good, but he again never has proven himself in IPL. So I felt like this was unneeded move from GT. They could have just released him, and if they really like him, they could have just used it RTM card, that uncapped RTM card that they had left. But now since they retained two uncapped players, I don't think they have any more RTMs left for uncapped players.
Yeah. Yeah, they might have thought Shah Rukh Khan will definitely go more than 4 crores in the auction. That's why they just decided to keep him. But I actually agree with you thinking about it. I feel like since they already retained one uncapped player, they could have gone in with an extra RTM with either capped or uncapped and just taken maybe a better quality player based on how the auction panned out. Like, for example, now they might not be able to buy back David Miller. So
They might not even be able to buy back Rashid Khan's partner, Noor, who was a great. Let's talk about all release players next video, but just saying example.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I actually agree with you considering that. I thought Shah Rukh Khan was a good buy at 4 crores, but considering the players they released, they could have definitely got one of them back potentially with the RTM. So yeah, I agree with your point. This move might have been unnecessary. They could have kept an RTM up their pocket just to get another player back. So yeah, I think this move was is a bit iffy, but other than that, I think the other four retentions are top-notch players who have been contributing consistently for GT over the past 2 3 years. And I think they're all match winners in their own right. And I think they've done a very good job with the retentions, barring that Shah Rukh Khan one where they could have saved an RTM.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah, so that's all we have to say about the GT retained players. We feel that both KKR and GT have retained some high quality players, high profile players, players who can win them games for any situation. And we both think they've done a good job. Do you have any other comments, Ted?
That should be it. Let's talk about their release players in the next video and see you there. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.